Alright, let's find Oarfish. We saw his comatose body in thermal, so I think that should be obvious. Oh, and I did get the emitter anomalies achievement for completing Jin's quest. Yesterday I was going to record even more. I was thinking, how many parts can I do in a row? But I got tired eventually. But today, I don't know. I actually feel like I'm kind of close to the end of the game. It's definitely like down well in the sense that it has no pretense of being an infinitely replayable game. It's decently replayable. And that's good enough for me. It'll be even more replayable once Neo does all of the things he mentioned to me. Yeah, weapon. I think that's fine. Fishing for stats doesn't really pay off that much. I don't know if I had a lucky streak during testing or I just developed a habit and convinced myself that it's good. But I'll hold on to my bombs now. Oh, that was 3. Speaking of achievements, I noticed that there are 8 hidden achievements at this point in the playthrough. And I think I have a decent idea what a lot of them are, but 8 is quite a few more than I was expecting. So I wonder if Neo has added some stuff that would, why am I struggling to phrase this? Stuff that would constitute extra achievements. Not sure. Haven't looked at them yet. I'm not concerned about spoilers, obviously. But even still, maybe he has like a surprise or two for me still. That was close. Shangel's probably worth it. Probably makes even more sense if I want to play circuits again, which I kinda do. Maybe there's like one more item you could win from circuits, I'm not entirely sure. I'd also like to win more than one item for once, so I'll try that. I think I realized that if you stash a weapon with Shangel, it's probably going to screw you out of the pea shooter achievement and force a restart if you're going for that. But that's for later. So at that point, I won't be using trade nodes anymore, probably. Just to get into the habit. Not that restarting or quitting to hub is that big of a deal anyway, but still. Could maybe reroll all of this with that. Start with Zipper. Sure. I'll play more with Aura. Oh, it should be really good here. If there's one thing, because I read some more of what people are saying about some of the new stuff and the changes. Maybe one way to improve Aura would be to make it so that launching it like that doesn't change how long it takes to be able to fire again. Because it has to leave the screen, right? So if I do it here... Yeah, it's a bit sooner. Because if you miss, it makes launching the Aura AoE very punishing. Because you just can't shoot again, and it can kill your chain. I don't know, though. That's just one thought I had. I don't otherwise mind this. Apparently people don't even like that you have to hit the portal nodes with the center of the ball. Maybe it could be a little larger, I guess. That wouldn't hurt. But it's funny to me that right before I read that, I said that it's a good thing. The difference of opinion. Okay, I guess that's decent. Oh, I'm almost certain that I misinterpreted what basic conditions for a parameter with the coral is supposed to mean. So since I got a raise, I'll try again. I forget, did I have anything planted already at this point? Ah. That was silly. I do think the teleporter nodes move at different rates, so if they're slow, it's not a problem, but if they're fast, maybe it's slightly inconvenient. Maybe I want to show off more ionize effects. Sure. I'd say the main benefit of auto barrier, and I actually used it when I played the hard mode pre-update, is that it sort of counters revenge bullets. Not nearly as much as the void keyword in Star of Providence. I still think that's really overpowered. Oh, but it doesn't contribute damage. Yeah, the last thing we need is it also killing enemies insanely fast so they can't even produce bullets in the first place. No, Void is ridiculous. I really hope they change it at some point. Although I haven't played Star of Providence since the end of the series. Just didn't feel the need to. I think I played it for so long that I got my fill in general. Played it about as much as I would have if I wasn't doing a series. I forgot about that. That's a pretty cool effect, actually. I think it's even better now that you can launch the aura. Was the ionize effect slightly different before aura was changed? I'm not sure. I think it was basically that. I'm just questioning myself for no reason in particular. Yeah, it feels really good with Ionize. I love the idea of leaving it stationary when enemies are chasing you and just making them run into it. Well, I did say I want to check out the corals, so I'll stick to my word. No, not that. That's what I mean about if the whole AoE hit the portal nodes, you'd probably activate things by mistake. And there's even new dialogue. Ah, the planet. Why is our planet named Carsina? Well, they say our ancestors looked up at the shell of our icy planet, and it reminded them of a crab. It's surprising how many different types of crabs there are. Did you know the species of crab roaches doesn't originate from Carsina? Yep, I do. I think she told me that. No, they came with the colonization ages ago. Even on other planets, crabs seem to find a way to thrive. Speaking of the planet and its shell, I'm reminded of another bit of lore, but it should come up in dialogue at some point. I won't get ahead of myself. I believe I showed what Pulse does with Ionize already. I think I'll just grab a rocket. The stat bonuses here are tempting, but perhaps unnecessary. I want to save pearls for circuits. Yeah, so with a different interpretation of basic side, I'm just gonna go with what Algol said. That's why I reconsidered low CO2, but I assume not none. That at least makes sense. Basic pH. If that's low, then I guess basic is on the opposite end. Like sort of mirroring low. And since the others are not specified, I assume they're average. So I'll try that. I'll know next time. Actually, wait, what else haven't I planted? Oh, right. Table coral. But first, I'll look at bubble again. Yeah, basic pH. I think that's where I might have gone wrong. Otherwise, it's obvious. Acidic. I don't know what to make of that. I'm sure that tells me something about how the parameters should be, but I don't know enough about this. No phosphates, I think. So is that right? Nitrates as needed. I don't know what to make of that exactly. Yeah, when it comes to achievements, I'm wondering if successfully raising these is one of them. I'm being too precise with that. Not sure. As needed, I think that's a unique phrasing. So I think this makes sense to me if it needs carbonates in particular. Anyway, I think that's as far as I can get with my current understanding. Could grab another bomb, but I'm kind of looking for... use the basic bomb to try and get at least one cluster bomb from the boss. And then we're playing as normal until I get up to Eel Wall. Yep, the rockets shoot. Means you don't have to be as precise with the line, which is nice. I suppose Ionize sort of makes these weapons easier to use. Though I forget some of the effects, like Zipper, for example. Actually, I'm not sure I know what Zipper originally did with Ionize. Maybe it was the same as whatever it is now. That's one of those things that slipped my mind. Oh, no nodes. I was too focused on the line and not enough on dodging. Not too bad, though. That's exactly what I was hoping for. The delay might be a problem with the relay nodes. But I think it should be fine. I think at some point I did play relays with Rocket. Keeping a chain going is definitely difficult, though. I guess a cache is fine. I wouldn't mind a different weapon. Nah, guess not. Although, I can spare a bomb. I don't particularly want that with my overall strategy here. What the heck? Fair enough. Aha, that's what laser was. I believe Zipper has the same thing. Now imagine that rapid firing with the old Zipper. It was quite strong. Assuming I'm right about that. The way you line up enemies with lasers, laser does also work with the nodes, although they are small targets, as I just discovered. I don't think relays is ever going to be super easy. But that's kind of good. It'll never be boring. I could buy more bombs. Not sure. Maybe Ray will have something to say. Nope. Although... yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure that now there's a different dialogue here. Because before, Ray kept mentioning, oh yeah, the drone is looking for the lab. But that's not the case now. So seeing this, that'll repeat dialogue is a little misleading. So I don't know, actually. Maybe there's a little bit of downside to including these icons here. It's fine, though. And now there's this as well. There's no dialogue option to ask Ray to leave. You just need to input all zeros. Which is a little weird. It would be much more natural if you just talked to Ray and said, hey, I'm done, let's leave. But yeah, I'll run through all these again. I am doing chapters, so if you're not interested, I'm pretty sure you should be able to skip this portion. Wonder if, nope, it just fires your weapon. I was thinking that maybe being able to use the mouse cursor to drag these would be convenient. Hi Ray, what's up? Do you want to chat about something like slime mold or bombs or flatworms? Wait a minute, isn't this... maybe it is the same dialogue actually. Huh. Well, that doesn't make sense. At least I can pick the other dialogue option. Oh man, I would love to be there to see it. I bet there's so much cool tech in there, maybe even new weapons. Oh wait, isn't that kind of the same thing? Odd. I just wanted to update the icon, so I guess there's no point in trying the rest. Huh. You could have sworn Neo said that the dialogue was different after the fact. Or maybe it changes at some point later. I guess I'll try once we're done with the Amplifier. Maybe that's it. Oh, Needler's ionize effect was kind of cool. Sure. That was a lot of pearls, though. Yeah, while charging, you fire those shots. So you can clean up very small enemies while building up power to kill larger enemies. Now, Ionize was a thing before the updates, so not all of this is new. Obviously, all the effects with the new weapons are new. But I still want to show off everything again. Maybe this is the first you see of this game. Damn. I'm a little careless in here. No nodes. I'll have to be careful when playing circuits. I was hoping for a cache. Maybe buying Needler just wasn't that great of an idea to begin with. Well, that is a part. I plan on spending my bombs anyway, so salvaging the power bombs in the stats makes sense. Yep, still messed up. Hasn't... Maybe I should specifically send him a screenshot of this. Although at this point I'm pretty sure he's gonna see it in the videos before that. It's not like anything's horribly messed up and doesn't function properly gameplay-wise. Let's do this. Bulbgate bulb. Maybe I'll raise a few times first. Yeah, I definitely don't have quite enough pearls. Damn, really? Okay, there we go. Oh, that's very close. So I'll lock those. And that's my hand. Alright, alright. I think I want a spike, but I'm not sure if he's gonna fold at this point. Maybe I should reroll until I see. So if I do that, the locks stay, and that's actually really good for me. And now if I reroll again, yeah, I effectively passed. Oh, that's amazing. No matching cards, I have all matching cards. Sweet. Oh, that is different, isn't it? Vodka. Sorry, I didn't pronounce it correctly. Vodka. Oh, that's great. What does that even give you when compared to... Wait, can I stack the the alcohol visual effects? Oh, I really hope so. Well, Needler. Wait a minute, didn't I have Needler already? Either way, it's good. Lots of damage. Max POW and a shield, wow. I don't think the effect is any more severe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure thermal is guaranteed at this point, because you do have to go there. Yeah, I think I got Needler even though I already had it, right? I'm not going crazy, am I? I didn't pick up another weapon at some point and just forgot. Now I'm pretty satisfied with my play of circuits. To consistently get those results, you'd have to save up a lot of pearls and bombs, so I understand why the rewards are so good. Even still, that base damage multiplier is pretty nuts. Oh, worth noting, because I don't expect anyone to read the comments the way I do. I do tend to read comments a lot, even on other people's videos. But I completely forgot that the red fish here, their bullets used to redirect when they reach the edge of the screen. And that's what was hard about thermal before. It had just been so long since I played pre-update thermal that I forgot about that. So now they just shoot basic bullets, and it's kind of... It is kind of weird, because in Polar you have enemies shooting way more bullets than that. I don't know. I think maybe Neo could step it up a little bit with those red fish. I agree with Algo on that. Yeah, I'll take the upgrade. I don't know that it particularly matters anymore. It's not really gonna do much, but Shell, on the other hand, I think will be very good. I'm not sure I can use up all the charges. I'll have to find one more bomb, but that's fine. And yeah, you can see it keeps track of the charges remaining. The game over screen tip I came up with is... I forget how exactly I phrased it, but it's that Shell will only use up one of its charges and grant you a shield if you don't already have a shield. I didn't realize it would work that way, so it turned out slightly better than I thought it would be. So I figured that was a worthwhile tip to give. I do like that all the pearls get sucked up when the screen stops scrolling and you kill the last enemy. Ah, there we are. I guess you could avoid progressing this quest, but why would you? Hey, Oarfish. I know you're still in there now. His breathing shakes. Somewhere, you can feel something shifting. Yep. We'll see what that amounts to in a bit. I could just buy a shield. Yeah, I mean, why not? And some damage. I gotta say, stat upgrades are always more interesting when they're mutually exclusive with something else. Because if you're just gaining stats, no strings attached, obviously that's good. What is there to think about? Like, maybe if the stat upgrades are prohibitively expensive to purchase or something, maybe. But especially if they just drop, it's like, oh, I'm gonna pick that up without thinking, because obviously. And I don't really appreciate the type of design that's just there to give you a dopamine hit when you get something that's obviously good. I feel nothing, personally. And that was my whole reason for being so against the damage upgrades in Star of Providence. But here there is no... item that just represents a stat with an icon that doesn't do anything else. You want a damage up, you need to be full on bombs and find a plasma bomb. And you're sacrificing the plasma bomb and its consumable use for the stat upgrade. And I like that better for sure. I think that's really awesome. This was added after I had completed this particular part of the quest when Neo realized, wait, why am I making you fight the thermal boss again? And he figured out a lore reason for the fight to be skipped. Yeah, if something trashed that boss that I said is fairly tough, you should be intimidated. And there's the last lab. Here we go. Straight to the protocol? Nope. Straight to Chimera. This boss is so cool. And yeah, that tail thing resembles Oarfish, which is cool and creepy at the same time. Gotta say, I do appreciate that you lose your POW in labs. Yeah, it's arbitrary, it's a little heavy-handed. But, I also only now realized, since Chimera uses Marrow, it shoots the drills at you because it previously killed the drill boss. Purposefully, I didn't shoot those things to show that they heal Chimera. And I kinda want this fight to go on a bit longer. I did get the chance to practice it a fair bit before this. I forgot how long bombs last when you actually use them for their traditional defensive purpose. Oh, and those are the weapon I was controlling in one of the previous labs, that's right. Huh. Didn't really think about that till now. Amplifier unlocked. So there it is. What does the quest log look like now? Uh-huh, right. Alright, straight to Asteria. I forgot about that detail. There's no need for a quest telling you, hey, go to Asteria. Ah, it looks like you've retrieved all of the parts for the amplifier. You've done an excellent job, little searcher. I applaud your work. Oh, I can already sense your questions. I suppose now is the time. What the hell was that thing I just fought? Marrow had recollections from the moment of first contact. Traumas, even. Oarfish is gone. The memories fade, but the lesson remains. The divine relay? Faith is a fickle thing. We believe in all sorts of things, even when we do not mean to. It takes a while to realize we are just appeasing ourselves. That's kind of a good point, honestly. Worm. Do not fear, Worm. In the end, it's just another machine. Machines merely reflect their masters. Okay. Things happen to us that we struggle to explain. Failures we refuse to accept. We simply cope one way or another. But enough dwelling on the past. It is time for you to move on. Here is a copy of the amplifier for Jin, and a copy for you. Now, I'm sure you have made good use of your bombs to have gotten this far. Amplified bombs can modify portal nodes to point towards zones like polar or relays. You can also use the amplifier to find your way into Mantle. I trust you'll figure out how. Go and deliver the other copy to Jin, as he needs it. It is past my time to question the next generation. I simply have to hope that they will make it. So yeah, new mechanic, and I'll actually read this. since it's kind of important. Amplified bombs. Hold shift to charge an amplified bomb. Release to bomb and reroll portal nodes. Excuse me. Rerolled portal nodes point to other zones. This is a kind of a crazy thing. When I first realized what you can do with that, well, you'll see. I'm pretty sure I have to do it. Well, I know that I have to do it. I'm just trying not to get ahead of myself. Sure. But I can't quite. That's fine. Yeah, there's nothing else. And straight to the buzz. Great news, boss. Asteria sent me the amplifier you managed to salvage. I'm impressed with your persistence. You really are a little powerhouse. Truly admirable stuff, boss. That line is kind of weird because wasn't I supposed to bring it to Jin now? Huh. I didn't pick up on that. It's maybe slightly inconsistent. That's no big deal. I heard you have places to be too. That's why you made your deal with Ray. Tell me, where are you headed? The vaguest answer possible. But that's all we really know. Home. Home, huh? I'm sure your folks will be happy to see you again. When the Divine Relay power's on, I'll have to go home to see mine too. Working at the Buzz is fun, but it's been a while. Speaking of, have you had a look at the Divine Relay yet? I'm sure you've heard plenty about it from the others you worked with. I guess I'll say it's promising. Absolute Eel. It's really a marvel. Why don't I show it off to you? I think it's what you deserve for your hard work, boss. You can get a good look at it just a little outside the buzz. The Divine Relay. Well, boss, here it is. Worth pointing out, these are not just animated sprites. I don't know if it's the NPC and the player just with shaders over them, but you can actually turn around, which is nice to sort of immerse you in this. It's a really nice scene in general. Isn't it beautiful? These are not mutually exclusive, but I'll say it's beautiful. It really is. The buzz is overpowering, even. Overwhelms the soul. But back before I started working at the Buzz, I mentioned my family was part of the Menders clan, right? We were 2 or 3 broods. We worked in upper relays, maintaining the cables that dissipate charge buildup. Important work, boss. But it was bad work, and glitches kept undoing our efforts and putting eels in danger. My Nest brother, he always complained that this was all a waste of time. That we should just forget Carson and get off planet forever. At some point, he ran off to join the scavengers. 4 months later, his body was reported split in 2 on the edges of the westmost wastes. And since we saw how the glitches can do that in the in one of the memories, you can picture a pretty detailed and graphic image there. They said he got caught in a glitch storm and couldn't find shelter in time. That's why I'm sure the Divine Relay will work. After all this time, all these molts, it has to. I think I can do all of these, so future. What will we do after the relay is complete? First, we'll undo the existing damage in relays. Many glitch storms have set us back in the past. Then, there are actually eels elsewhere on Carsina. They've sent us supplies from time to time. We'd be able to build a connection to them and create a unified nation. From there, we'll be able to make sure every eel is taken care of. Danger? You remember Ray mentioning the relay was dangerous? Well, we do have eels holding the connections together with their electropathy. But we've put a lot of care into making sure the process happens as cleanly and efficiently as possible. And she wouldn't be helping us if she didn't think it would work. Deep space. You think we could use the Divine Relay to transmit messages into deep space? And talk to life forms outside of Carsina? You really think there could be life on other stars? I've always found that hard to imagine. Besides, I don't think the signal is strong enough to breach Carsina's shell. It's a nice thought, though. Well, it's time for me to get back to work. Thanks for coming out here with me, friend. I'm pretty sure it's, actually Neo told me straight up that it's impossible to have electropathy when this happens. At least I'm pretty sure it's... yeah, the more I think about it, yeah. But I think you can kind of guess what this is. Maybe people in the community could even decipher it. That'd be interesting. Okay. Let's head back. It's time for you to go now. See you, friend. And straight to Mantlegate. After all that. This reminder wasn't always here. It's kind of easy to forget and just shoot the hub node. Actually, is it possible not to have enough bombs by now? I think this is part of the reason why Jin sells bombs, so that you can always do this. Oh yeah, I had beam. I forgot. Wasn't looking up here. Hello, Looper. Is this reaching you? I guess asking about Looper sort of says both. Looper? Yes, I am referring to you. You've traveled through Carsina 30 times. Huh. I forget. I think Neo mentioned something about the game actually keeping track of how many runs it took you. I don't know if he properly implemented that or if this is just for lore reasons. Anyway. I'll find out later. You are caught in a loop, like the rest of us. Let me display a form you may be more familiar with. I am Oarfish. I wanted to talk to you before you approached Worm. Where are we? We are somewhere in limbo. Carsina is now a web of flesh, computer, and mind, centered on Worm. Nested in between these three is a blank spot, a Lacuna. We are talking in that Lacuna right now. Why are you here? Why am I here, in limbo? The moment the Marrow and Chimera revolted, my mind was shattered. Fragments of my mind are in Worm. Fragments are in Chimera. Most of my memories are trapped in my original body, but without a soul, it cannot act on them. Here, I can only remember so much. Your memories? You want to know if the memories you have been seeing along your journey are mine? Yes, they are. And there you have it. I want to say, now that we have that explanation, what I was originally thinking before Neo had finished Act 2 and the rest of the game was that the character we play as is somehow an extension of Oarfish. Because of the experiment, because of the talk of making a spaceship, the fact that Worm makes drones, that the point of the experiment was to control or communicate with Worm at least. And it seemed like the player character, the Nautilus, has amnesia. So if Oarfish's mind was shattered, maybe that could be part of it. I was kind of thinking something to that extent, but it turns out there isn't actually any connection between the player character and Oarfish. And I do like how this plays out from here on out, but I won't say anything more. Once my mind merged with Worm, its contents circulated into its random access memory. You have been tapping into those latent fragments of me, piecing together what happened on Carsona. I wish I could have some of what you saw back. Cycle in and cycle out, my mind struggles to hold itself together. Does it hurt? Yes. Do you regret it? No. I wanted the Chimera. Why? Because I wanted to kill Worm. Ray, Asteria, the Eels, they all want to use Worm for their own ends. Everyone on Carsona is caught in the same cycles that your race was caught in. The only way to break the cycle is to kill the poison at its source. And Chimera was the only way to excise the cancer that is Worm. But it failed. Ray and I wanted the same thing, a better Carsona. If I had told her, failure could have been averted. Regardless, what is done is done. Should I kill Worm? No. Chimera taught me it is futile to try and purge Worm from Carsona. When you meet Worm, do not kill it. You would not be able to, even if you tried. The Eels do not call it God without reason. Instead, reach inside its mind. Worm was born during the colonization. The memories of cephalopods within will be relevant to you. You are a cephalopod, Looper. But instead of changing Carsona, change yourself. We're all trapped in mental loops. The only way to break the loop is to look within. Go, Looper. Look within Mantle and find. Good luck. So, sorry to do this to you, but you see it says Act 3 down there? Act 3 is different from the previous two acts, and I could... well, I could just do the final level now and beat the game, but I don't really want to do that. And originally, after that cutscene, I'm pretty sure you would be sent to the hub, which is kind of interesting. And I kind of get what Neo was trying to do with the structure there, but that whole series of events leading up to the Lacuna cutscene, he said was very important to him that they stayed in sequence like that. And I get it. That was a lot of development right there, and a lot of exposition. But it's a little strange that let's just say there's quite a bit more in Act 3 other than the end of the game. And if I were to just beat Mantle now, I think it would be a premature climax to all of this. So, I'm not gonna do that. Neo mentioned that he was gonna include an option where Oarfish would ask you if you want to go. I suggested that he might mention, you know, if you feel there's any unfinished business, then he can send you back instead. But I guess he never implemented that. But I'm still gonna do it myself. So yeah. Apologies if you wanted to see the end, but you'll have to wait a while. Not even tomorrow. I think it's gonna... Yeah, there's quite a bit to do, now that I think about it. I can't even allude to what comes next. You'll just have to see. Thank you for watching.